Hello, everyone, and welcome to our transformative course, Finding Love After a Divorce or Breakup. My name is Angela Patarayal, and I'm excited to guide you through this journey over the next 7 weeks. Whether you are recently divorced, coming out of a long-term relationship, or simply looking to rediscover love, this course is designed to help you navigate the path toward healing and new beginnings. Now, throughout this course, we will explore the emotional landscape that comes with divorce and breakups, and we'll equip you with practical, once again, I want to emphasize practical tools and strategies to rebuild your confidence and embrace the possibility of love again. Doesn't that sound amazing? Once again, embracing the possibility of love again. Each week, we'll dive into a specific topic that will empower you to move forward with clarity and purpose. Now, here's a brief overview of what you can expect in the upcoming week. So I want you to grab your pen and paper or make a mental note of what you can expect from this course over the next several weeks and or in the upcoming weeks. Number one, week one, we're going to be talking about understanding your emotions. We'll start by exploring the complex emotions that you may be experiencing and how to process these emotions in a healthy way. Once again, that is what we're going to be discussing week one, course one, okay? In our second week, we're going to be talking about rebuilding self-esteem. That is so important. That is so important in every area of your life, okay? Rebuilding self-esteem. Week two, we'll focus on strategies to help you regain your confidence and sense of self-worth after this breakup. Now, moving on to week three, what you can expect is we're going to be talking about navigating the dating landscape, because what the dating scene looks like now, guys, is more than likely not what it was prior to you getting into the relationship that has now ended. Once again, week three, we're going to be talking about navigating the dating landscape. This week, we'll discuss how to approach dating again, including setting boundaries. Okay, once again, we're going to talk about on week three, setting boundaries and knowing what you want. Okay, because that's so important. Moving on to week four. That week we'll be talking about, the course will be about building healthy relationships. We'll explore the key components of healthy relationships and how to recognize red flags. Once again, week four, the course will be building healthy relationships, exploring the key components of healthy relationships and how to recognize those red flags. On week five, that week is overcoming fears and insecurities. We'll address common fears that arise when entering into new relationships and how to overcome them. Oh, that's going to be a good one. Oh, buckle up. Week five is going to be phenomenal. Week six, we're going to be I'm talking about focusing on embracing your new identity and stepping into the future with confidence. Week 6, that course is entitled Moving Forward with Confidence. Okay. Once again, this week, week 6, we'll focus on embracing your new identity and stepping into the future with confidence. Week 7, which will be our final course in this particular series, is going to be a recap and reflections. We'll wrap up the course by sharing some inspiring stories from each other, or I will give you guys some real life inspiring stories from a few of my clients that have some success stories over the years. Okay. Along with reflections of my own. Okay. So throughout this course, I highly encourage you to be open and honest with yourself, understanding that healing takes time. Okay. I don't know who needs to hear that, but you have to accept that healing takes time, and it's okay to feel vulnerable. Okay. Remember that you're not alone on this journey. Together, we'll create a supportive community where you can share and um, open up about your experiences and learn from one another if that is what you choose to do. I'm thrilled to embark on this journey with you, and I can't wait to see the growth and transformation, that will unfold over the next 7 weeks. So let's take this opportunity to heal, to learn, and open our hearts to the possibility of love again. Okay. Thank you for being here. And guys, let's get started. You guys, with our week 1. Okay, week 1 on understanding your emotions. Okay, just a reminder that finding love after divorce, this course is designed to provide you with the tools and support you need to navigate your journey toward a new relationship. And I don't care how bad you're hurting, guys, sometimes it is the possibility of finding love again that will give you that second win and help you to appreciate the process of working on yourself and reinventing yourself and learning from past experiences. It'll help you to get motivated on that new love, that new chapter. Okay. This course, once again, spans from about 6 to 7 weeks, with engaging sessions to be held weekly. Okay. The duration of each of these sessions, guys, will be about 30 to 60 minutes, allowing for in-depth exploration of each topic while fitting into you guys schedule. So once again, let's dive into week 1, which is today, and understanding your emotions after this divorce or after this breakup. Okay. So once again, my name is Angela Patarreal, and I'm so glad that you are here today. Divorce is a significant life change. It really is. For those of you that are here today, you understand that divorce feels like a death. It is painful. It is life-changing. It hits you in areas that you didn't know existed. Okay. And it's completely normal to experience a whirlwind of emotion during this time. Today, we're going to explore those feelings and how to navigate them effectively. But first, let's talk about the emotional landscape that you might be experiencing. After a divorce, once again, it's common. It's natural, guys. It happens a lot for you to experience a range of emotions. So let's talk about those emotions that you may be experiencing. Number 1 on that list is sadness. Yeah, let's talk about the sadness that you feel when you're going through that breakup or that divorce. You may feel a profound sense of loss. Yeah. Not just for your partner, but for the dreams and future that you envision together. It's you're grieving that relationship. You're grieving the loss of that person that you have to accept is no longer going to be a part of your life in that way. And all of the dreams and expectations that came with your life with that person, possibly being, dying with them, dying with that relationship. And, you're sad over the dreams, the expectation, the future that you had planned, and the disconnect from that person being a part of your life once again in that way. There's an overwhelming sense of sadness once you come to the realization that you are experiencing a death that does not involve you putting that person literally in the ground. This is a different type of death. The sadness that knowing that the relationship has died, but yet that person is still alive. So I need you to understand that sadness is part of the range of emotions that you will feel, and it's okay. It's okay not to be okay. Every day is not going to be one where you charge ahead with positive thoughts and energy. You're going to have those days where you're sad. You may have those days where you just don't want to get out of bed. You just don't want to be a part of the world, not speaking death, but those days where you just want to stay laid up in the bed or curled up in a corner, and you just don't want to talk to nobody, you don't want to deal with nobody, you don't want to go to work because you have this overwhelming sense of sadness. Those are part of the emotions that you experience after a breakup and definitely after divorce. So, sadness. Number 2, anger. Yeah, anger. You will be angry. You will get pissed off. You will be just beside yourself with those emotions of anger. It can arise from feelings of betrayal, disappointment, or frustration about, how things turned out, despite your best efforts. It's important to acknowledge this anger without letting it consume you. And I want to circle back to the part that I just talked about. Anger can arise from the feelings of betrayal. If betrayal was a part of the reason that you guys are no longer together, let me tell you that anger, if you don't get a hold of that anger, if you don't start to drop down on your knees and start praying about it and redirecting your thoughts, that anger has the ability to consume you like a fire. It's okay to be angry. If you were betrayed or if you were disappointed about how things turned out, you need to know that you have the right to be angry. But you also need to be aware that if you don't get a hold of that anger, it will consume you like a fire and has the ability and the potential to destroy you. And that's what you don't want. So, another set of emotions that come with a nasty breakup and a divorce, especially one that you didn't want, right? Or a breakup that you didn't see coming, or a breakup or divorce that you didn't agree to, you didn't consent to, you didn't want to be a part of it, and despite your best efforts, it happened. Guilt and shame. Been there before, guys. You might find yourself questioning your decisions or feeling guilty about the impact of the divorce on your family and friends. Whether you were the one that pulled the plug or you were the one that had no choice but to accept that this person has walked away from the marriage and or relationship. You could be feeling guilty because you pulled the plug, because you felt like it was the right thing to do for you, because this person that you were connected to, this person that you were married to, refused to do right by you, to get the help needed to sustain the marriage or the quality of life in their relationship for the both of you. You could be feeling guilty that you had to walk away from your marriage or your relationship. You understood in those moments, those final moments, that this was necessary for your survival. So you feeling guilty about that is perfectly normal. Now, for those of you who may be on the opposite end of that, I can definitely speak on the shame that comes with divorce, feeling like a failure, feeling like you let yourself down, feeling like you let your children down, feeling like you let, your family down, your circle of friends. Perhaps you were one of these couples that had a certain image that you presented to your friends, family, and the public, and what you had going on within your marriage or relationship behind closed doors was perfectly managed, where no one else was aware of the issues and the problems that the two of you were experiencing to that magnitude. Guys, feeling shame about it is a normal and a natural emotion that comes with this experience, okay? So far, understanding your emotions after a divorce or a breakup, we've talked about three of them so far. We've talked about, you need to understand that sadness is a part of the journey. Okay. Number two, we've talked about anger. Anger, it's okay to be angry. That's a natural part of it, especially as I talked about, if you have those feelings of betrayal and or disappointment. Okay. And so far we've talked about number three, the guilt and the shame that comes with a breakup or that divorce. Okay. So moving on, relief. Ironically, relief, interesting. Many people also feel relief, like a burden has been lifted, especially if the marriage or that relationship, that long-term relationship, was riddled with conflict, fighting, arguing, toxicity, narcissism, uh, everything you can think of under the sun. If it wasn't one thing, it was another. As soon as you put out one fire, here comes three more. As soon as you took two steps forward, they drug you 6 feet back. So there will come times that you will absolutely feel relief, like, thank God that's over. I'm sad about it. I have my days where I'm angry about it. There are moments where I'm feeling ashamed and I feel guilty about what I had to do for myself. But I cannot deny that there is an overwhelming sense of relief that has come with this divorce. There is a feeling of release that comes with this breakup. Once again, it's okay to feel this mix of emotions at the same time. It's okay. You're perfectly normal. No, you're not going crazy. Okay. These are things that the experts have identified as normal. Studies have shown people that have went through what you're going through right now. All of these things have been identified as the range of emotions that people go through. Okay. Number five, confusion. We don't talk about that enough, right? Confusion. You may feel uncertain about your future, okay? Especially with the conversations that are being had and the things that we know about in our own inner circle about the dating market, what's out there, the availability of single people who are willing to commit, right? Once again, you may feel uncertain about your future and what comes next. Again, this is a natural part of the healing process to be confused. Once you were in a relationship, once you was in a committed relationship, a long-term relationship, building a future together, living a life together, you were in a marriage, you were in a covenant, for the most part, things were stable. This is something that you did not have to worry about. And now you find yourself in a season, in another phase of your life where those things are no more. And you're feeling confused about what the future holds for you, especially if you are one of those individuals who says, I do want to love again. I want to find love again. This breakup, this divorce will not, I refuse to allow it to define me, or my story will end right here. This is not what I want for myself. Okay. Now, there are the stages of grief. Now, understanding that these emotions often align, all of the emotions that we've just talked about, just recapping, we talked about the sadness, we've talked about the anger, we've talked about the guilt and shame, we've talked about the relief, and we've talked about the confusion. So, once again, understanding that these emotions often align with the stages of grief can be helpful to you, okay? So these stages of grief are, and they include denial. You might struggle to accept that the marriage or the relationship has ended. And that's perfectly fine. I once too went through that, not really coming to terms that, what, it's over. There is nothing that you can do to undo what has been done. Refusing to accept that a period has been placed at that chapter of your life versus a comma. You're refusing to move forward because you're in denial of what has happened. It's a shock to your system. It's a shock to your heart. Your brain is having a hard time. I'm correcting myself. Your heart is having a hard time catching up with what your head, your mind already knows, okay? Anger, as we discussed, is a common reaction. Then you get to that bargaining stage. Oh, that's not talked about enough. The bargaining stage. You know what? You may find yourself, guys, wishing things could have been different, or thinking about what you could have done to save that marriage or that relationship. We all do that. We all do that. Hindsight is 2020. And you know what? For the most part, you could be right. You could be absolutely right. Had I done this, that, and a third different, maybe things would not have ended up as they have, right? Had I not just did this, had I not pressed that issue, had I not talked in that tone, had I not made that decision on that day, had I not pulled the trigger on this particular day regarding this particular matter, had I not done this, you could go on and on and on. The list could be infinite. Okay? About the things that you could have done differently to achieve a different result, because ultimately, if you're here now, it ended in a breakup or it ended in a divorce. Bargaining is perfectly normal, but it is important for me to tell you, I don't want you to get stuck there. You cannot get stuck there. Once again, hindsight is 2020, and perhaps your reflection on the things that you could have done differently may be the keys to having a successful relationship in that next relationship. This is what I will not do moving forward. These are the things that I will not say to the next love of my life. Understand? Okay, so once again, we've just talked about those stages of grief and what those stages look like, being in denial, okay, having that anger, and we just wrapped up bargaining, finding yourself wishing that things would have turned out different, or the things that you could have done different. in that marriage or that relationship, possibly to achieve a different result. Next, we're going to talk about that emotion, that grief in the grief stage, depression. Now, this is something that you need to take very serious. This stage feels very overwhelming. Mhm. And it's important to allow yourself to feel those emotions. But when you find yourself slipping into depression, you find yourself overeating, not eating, oversleeping, not getting enough sleep, not finding interest or joy in the things that you used to on an extreme scale. I need you to be able to reach out, even if to me, and acknowledge what you're going through, and let's talk about those things, because you don't want to get to the stage of depression that you are unable to come out of it. um, Depression has the ability to disable you if it is not contained, if it is not monitored, and if you don't acknowledge that that is what is happening to you. So depression is real, guys. Finally, one of those stages of grief that, to me, is a signal of the light at the end of the tunnel is acceptance. Yeah, acceptance. I'm going to say that one more time. Acceptance. Acceptance does not mean, so let's not get it twisted, guys. Acceptance doesn't mean that you're okay with what has happened, but rather that you're ready to move forward. I don't know who this is for, but I got it down in my spirit. You know what? You don't have to be okay with what happened. You don't have to be okay with and throwing parties and saying, I'm okay with it. No, but rather it's happened. I didn't want it. I didn't agree with it. I wasn't okay with how it happened, why it happened, but I understand that it has happened. And I'm okay with moving forward with my own life and creating a new life in a space for a new love to occupy, my heart when it's time. Once again, acceptance doesn't mean that you're okay with what has happened, but rather that you're ready to move forward. Guys, in processing your emotions, now that we've identified some common emotions and stages, let's talk about how to process those feelings. Number one, what you have to do is acknowledge your feelings. Okay. Acknowledge means, you know what? You're saying it is what it is, calling that thing exactly what it is. Acknowledge your feelings once again. This is how we're going to process those feelings, those common stages common emotions and stages that we've just talked about. Acknowledge your feelings. It's vital to recognize and validate your emotions. Allow yourself to feel sad. Yeah, that's right. Allow yourself to feel sad, angry, or confused without judgment. The worst thing you can do is judge yourself in this delicate time in your life. No. Once again, acknowledge your feelings. Number two, journaling. Okay. Writing down your thoughts and feelings can be a powerful way to process your emotions. Really. I mean, it seems very elementary at times when people talk about journaling, but never underestimate the power of writing down your thoughts and feelings. Okay. I want you to consider keeping a journal where you can express yourself freely. Okay. Number three, talk to someone. Okay. A trusted source, not just anybody, not everybody, but talk to someone. Whether it's a close friend or confidant, a family member, therapist, myself, sharing your feelings can definitely provide some relief for you. And you can gain some alternative perspective, or at bare minimum, you'll be able to sound off and express what you're going through, how you're feeling that day to someone. You can let it out, okay? Number 4, I want you to practice self care. You got to love on yourself. You got to be compassionate with yourself. Give yourself some grace, okay? Engage in activities that nurture your well being, such as you might want to exercise, some meditation, definitely prayer, okay? Um, or the hobbies that you used to enjoy, or start to explore some hobbies that will give you that smile on your face that you are in desperate need of during this time, okay? Taking care of yourself physically and emotionally is crucial during this time. Keeping yourself up, getting up, putting that extra effort into your appearance, into your meals, getting that walking, jogging, running, exercising, finding a dance class. Find something that you can take pleasure in that will give you that emotional high, that will motivate you to keep going. Take care of yourself, okay? If it's a cute hairstyle, if it's a nice haircut, if it is whatever brings a um joyful spirit to your heart, a smile to your face, gives you that motivation, empowers you, okay? I want you to practice that self-care, because that's taking care of yourself. And again, be gentle and kind to yourself. Don't go throughout your day rehearsing those bad moments, those arguments, the betrayal, the disappointments, the sad songs, or whatever. Be gentle and kind with yourself. Give yourself grace, because that is also too practicing self-care. 5, seeking professional help, to include Diva Speaks, myself. If you find your emotions are overwhelming, or they're to the point that they are bubbling over at the surface, and you are finding it hard to go throughout your day without bursts of crying spells, angry, lashing out at people, don't hesitate to seek help from a therapist or a counselor who specializes in divorce recovery, okay? I want you to be successful in healing, okay? Managing the hurt so that we can move on to finding love again after that breakup and or that divorce. So guys, in conclusion, understanding your emotions after a divorce or a breakup is an essential step toward healing. I want you to remember that it's okay to feel a mix of emotions. And there's no right or wrong way to grieve. Okay. Once again, to grieve and mourn the end of a relationship. Okay. Give yourself the grace to heal at your own pace. Once again, give yourself the grace to heal at your own pace. Okay. I want to thank you guys for joining me today. If you have any questions or would like to share your experiences after you have had an opportunity to go through this first week 1, feel free to reach out. Together, we can support each other on this journey toward finding love and happiness again. But, you guys, before you go, okay, before you go, I do have homework assignments for you, okay? Um, so as we wrap up today's session, understanding your emotions, I want to take a moment to discuss your homework assignment once again. I can't emphasize that enough. I'll keep saying homework assignment, homework assignments. Okay. These activities, guys, are designed to help you deepen your understanding of your feelings and begin to process them in a constructive way. So, Each of these assignments is aimed at encouraging self reflection and emotional awareness. Okay. I encourage you to approach these tasks with, what am I trying to say? An open mind and a willingness to explore your emotions without judgment. Okay. So, here's your homework assignment for the week. Number one, journaling. I want you to journal. Spend at least 10 to 15 minutes each day journaling about your emotions. I want you to I want you to focus, okay? Focus on the following, okay? What emotions did you experience today on that particular day, right? What triggered those emotions? Okay, so this is going to require for you to really think and focus, okay, on your emotions, okay? Number one, what emotions did you experience today? What triggered those emotions? How did I respond to those feelings? Okay. Once again, let me repeat. This is your homework assignment. What emotions did I experience today? What triggered those emotions? How did I respond to these feelings? Now, this exercise will help you guys identify the patterns in your emotional responses and gain some insight into your triggers. Because if you don't understand what triggered you, what triggered those emotions, what triggered that outburst, what triggered you and got you in a bad mood, what triggered you and got you sad, what triggered you and got you all in your feelings, what triggered you and got you thrown off your day, what triggered you and you lost your train of thought, then you won't understand how to be successful in your journey in healing. You got to understand what your triggers are, okay? Number two, emotional check-in. At the end of the day, I want you to take a moment to check in with yourself, okay? Ask yourself, how am I feeling right now? If nobody asks you how you're feeling or how you're doing, I want you to ask yourself. You get in that mirror or you get on your knees or you sit with yourself and you say, how am I feeling right now? Two, what do I need? What do I need? Once again, what do I need in this moment? I want you to write down your thoughts and feelings because this practice will help you become more attuned to your emotions and need because you got to understand yourself before you can have any expectation of another person doing so. If you don't know yourself, how can you, in fairness, expect another person to, okay? Number three, identify your coping strategies. Now, make a list, okay, guys? I know this is a lot, but this is what's going to help you heal. And the goal is to find love again, right? That's the goal. So, these are the ways that you're going to do it. So, number three, make a list of healthy coping strategies that you can turn to when you're feeling overwhelmed. I want you to consider activities that bring you joy, bring a smile to your face, okay? Relaxation, okay? Or comfort. What activities can you participate in or do that will bring you joy, relaxation, or comfort? Some examples might be you might like walking, or you might try walking around a block, listening to some music, some good throwback music, or whatever you like, or um, talking to your favorite friend or family member, the aim to incorporate at least one of these strategies into your daily routine because once again, you've now identified what can help you cope in this season of your life. If one of these activities or a few of them brings you joy, then that's what I want you to incorporate into your daily routine. Because once again, it's stimulating joy, it's bringing a smile to your face, it's redirecting your thoughts. Okay. Okay. So, in our next session, I'd love for you to be able to share those experiences with these assignments. What insights did you gain? Did you discover anything new about your emotional responses? Okay, be honest. Okay, did you discover anything new about your emotional responses after participating in these homework assignments and applying the knowledge learned during this course? Okay. Um, Once again, I do want to thank you guys for your participation today and for being here and present on this journey to finding love after divorce or a breakup. And I look forward to seeing you all next time.